one of Google's biggest projects at the moment is they are literally scanning lots and lots of amounts of books all over the world, and they are closing partnerships with, for example, the Library of Harvard or different universities, or so they are trying to literally copy or scan everything that's ever been written and post it into books. There's quite a lot of controversy on that as well, so if you want to, in terms of copyright, so if you want to find out more about that, you can, I'd advise you to go to the Google blog because there's some interesting reading about that. But for now, there is a lot of information on here. Sometimes you can find complete books, but as you can see here, like it will state that this particular book has a full view. So if I go down into this, I could actually, like you can see it here, and this is the whole book scan. So if I look at the contents, I can see the different chapters that are in there, and I can kind of navigate through that and actually read the information that's in this book. And you see, if I go back then, see, not always is there a full view of the book. Like, for example, this one has a limited preview. So what that does is, if you look at the content, what you can see is, that looks a bit funny, what you can see there is these are the chapters that are actually clickable and actually you can search through them. But then here there is the grayed out kind of chapters that are in the book, but they're not actually available. Usually that's for copyright reasons. But even if you just wanted to check out a book and you're not really sure, but you really need the detailed information. Excuse me. The other good thing about Google Books is that you can read reviews, so you can see what other people wrote about the book. And then if I go into my library, you can see that I have bookmarked a few books that are my favorites, or books to read, or things that I have read. If I want to create a new bookshelf, basically what you do is you can create a category for, let's say, I have books on learning theory. I can create a folder there, and when I see a new book, I can add it to this library if I wanted to. So that's what Google Books does in a nutshell. The last thing I want to show you is Scholar. And what Scholar does is it searches for articles that are published in libraries all over the world. So this is very good for academic research. It's not as detailed, or the possibilities are not as large as, for example, you would have if you're searching the databases of the DCU library. But it's a good way to start off your research and look for articles. So let's say I was looking for learning theorists. It will return different results for me. So there's citations, there's books, there's articles there as well. So if I want to go into this, then I can actually see in which database it's stored. I can see an abstract of it, and I can basically then continue and access the library where it's stored. If I don't have access to that particular database, it'll be hard. You won't be able to get access until you subscribe. But sometimes, and you can see that here, sometimes the full article is available in a PDF, and you can see that then when there is this little indication. So if you click on that, that will open up, and it's downloading it here at the bottom. It will actually open up the full article, and you can have you can read it in full. So you'll have it there on your computer. Okay, there we go. So that's really all I wanted to show you about search. If you have any questions on that, then just add them to the question list, and I'll try to answer them at the end of the session. So I'm going to go back now to my presentation. continue with a short overview on Google Apps. It stands for Google Applications. I'm done with the demos now, so I'll stick to the slides for now. So going on to the next one, like what is Google Apps? It's basically a conglomerate of Google products that help you with everyday work. So products that are included are Gmail, Google Docs, Calendar, Google Video, Google Talks, Google Groups, Google Sites, and there's a lot more things. There's Sketch, there's Picasa, and basically every month or every so often Google are adding new products. So there's a lot going on there, but the ones that are stated here are probably the most well known and probably also the most used. All of the products are free to use for everyone, and what they have to offer is that it's based on cloud computing. So all of the information that's entered in Google Apps is existing in the cloud. So basically somewhere up there in the internet, if you're creating a website using Google Sites, or if you're writing an email, or if you're creating a document, everything is up there in the cloud, as they call it. And Google really sees the cloud model as an enabler for real-time collaboration. So all of the products here, like for example, if you look at Google Docs, if you're working on a document, you can access it basically anywhere where there's a computer, and it also allows you to collaborate on it with different people. So that's the basis of all of these products, really. I wanted to have, for the purpose of this presentation, I wanted to have a closer look at Docs and also see how it can be used in an education environment. So like what I said, like Google Docs is it's a word processor. It also has spreadsheets in it and presentations. So basically, it's an online version of Microsoft Word, Excel, and a PowerPoint. I'm probably not supposed to say that, but that's really what it is. The functionality will be quite similar. The big advantage that it has is that you can create and edit documents anywhere, and you can collaborate with multiple people at the same time. And the same here. So now I want to go into a little bit more detail about how Google Docs can help educators and students. This material that I'm going to show you now is coming from the Google Apps EDU team. So they're basically a team in Google who do a lot of activity around teaching educators how to use Google Apps and how to integrate them in their curriculum. They work with colleges to get them on Google Apps first of all, but also how they can create lesson plans and how they can create activities on Google Earth. So using those products. So I have a link actually at the end of the presentation for more information to materials and things like that. So I'll highlight them as well. So the next one. So basically what Google Docs offers is that you can access your documents from anywhere. So if you translate that to an education environment, it'll basically mean that the students can work from home and they can work from school on their assignments. So they don't have to mess with hard copies and different versions and things like that, and they don't have to be afraid that they lose it or that they don't bring it into class. Like, it's always stored online, so as long as they have access to a computer and the internet, which I appreciate could be a bit of a challenge for some schools as well, but as long as they have that possibility to access, the information is always there. One of the great things about Google Docs in particular is that it saves or changes automatically. So every 30 seconds or so, it changes everything you're doing. So it's really hard to lose information. And what it also does is it saves different versions on of the document. So let's say, and you can access those revisions as well. So you can then see these are the different types